T-Rex Autopsy was a 90-minute special for National Geographic, which set out to build an anatomically correct T-Rex using the very latest findings from the world of science. What it achieved would reveal many unknown facts and break many myths about this awesome creature. First, we pulled all the research together from around the world, from specialists in their field. These would be bone studies, computer-generated walk cycles, and measurements of potential body mass, revealing their muscle size and strength. Then we hired a Hollywood special effects company to build the life-size, 13-meter-long creature. But it wasn't just an external build. Because we were going to dissect it, all the internals had to be created too. We did use a lot of materials. It took 100 litres of latex rubber, 200 litres of silicone rubber, 600 litres of polyester resin, 5 tons of clay, plus hundreds and hundreds of meters of fiberglass mat to make it. And it took 6 months to build. So let's walk around this giant predator and reveal what we learned. At the sharp end, the teeth. They are 6-inch long giant spikes, rather than razor-edged blades as in most other carnivorous dinosaurs. And the teeth are of different ages, suggesting they're replaced when they wear down, like sharks do. They're like those of the Komodo dragon. They're designed to slice, tear and cut, but not chew. Lumps of food are torn off, thrown to the back of the mouth and swallowed whole.
T-Rex's 12 powerful neck muscles allows it to feed in a similar way.
With an estimated bite force of 5,800 kilograms, that's 6 times that of a crocodile. Stomach contents reveal T-Rex was an omnivore, so they ate fresh meat and vegetation. But the worms inside the gut suggest they ate rotting meat too, and so T-Rex was both a hunter and a scavenger. They would basically eat whatever was around by killing prey themselves or by chasing off other predators and eating their kills. So to hunt, they need to see, and the sclerotic bone found in their eye suggests they have eyesight that's better than humans. With high-definition colour and black and white night vision. So don't believe the movies that if you stand still, the T-Rex can't still see you. Do you think he saw us? Well, yes, he did. He doesn't have an eye like an insect that reacts to movement, so we'll see you and eat you. T-Rex hearing hardware is as big as a man's forearm, longer even than an elephant ear canal. It's very similar in design to both the mammalian and reptilian ear canal. Large internal chambers near the inner ear would have amplified low-frequency sounds, just like an elephant's does. With everything else going on in the T-Rex's senses, even moderate hearing would have been enough for this hunter to ferret out dinner. Part of the reason is that it can process complex images and sounds because its relatively large brain. It was the largest by volume of any dinosaur, so T-Rex was no dummy. From pigment found in skin that was preserved, we now know that a T-Rex had colour on their skin like birds. We believe this is to do with attracting a mate. And of course, now we know they have colour vision, that makes perfect sense. Then the big surprise, feathers. Yes, a T-Rex had feathers. Discovered on a descendant of T-Rex found in China. Now, these aren't for flight. They're sort of quill-like proto-feathers and would have provided warmth, but also further evidence of it using them, like a bird, for display and mating. In fact, it took 20,000 goose feather quills to create the feathers on this huge creature. So let's now move down to the heart of the matter, the internal organs. We cut open the belly and discovered a rib cage that surrounds it. This is called a gastralia and is common in crocodiles and lizards. Inside, we empty out the stomach, not a pretty sight. Oh, and we added some horrible smells like badger poo, so it made the scientists feel a little bit more like it was the real thing. Now, it seems the popular meal was a hadrosaur. Bones too are in the stomach, confirming they crunched off chunks and ate things whole. Now, the volume of food was around 225 kilograms of meat a day. That's 1,000 hamburgers. Next, the heart. Well, surprisingly, unlike a cold-blooded animal like a lizard, it has 4 chambers, and 140 times the size of our own to pump the huge volumes of blood great distances. So it is clearly a warm-blooded creature, confirmed by its active and long-range hunting evidence. It could not have had a cold-blooded metabolism. To oxygenate the blood, it not only had lungs but also air sacs that help improve oxygenation and provide power to the muscles. Tyrannosaurus rex comes from the Greek tyrant lizard, but apart from the gastralia, a T-Rex was not a lizard at all. It was more like a giant angry chicken. The eyesight, warm-blooded, four-chambered heart, air sacs all prove that birds are descendants of extinct dinosaurs. And their reproduction is also the same. Now, in our female T-Rex, we found an egg in its oviduct. Further examination, based on fossil evidence, shows, unlike birds and like lizards, T-Rex laid its eggs all at one time. And like birds, but unlike lizards, it didn't cover them up with earth or vegetation.
If the T-Rex embryo developed in the same way as an ostrich, first the nervous system, heart and spine would form. Then its limbs, and finally the skin and claws.
So how does the T-Rex mate? Well, it's believed just like birds, in what's known as a cloacal kiss, with a male and female pressed together for a few moments to transfer sperm to the female. Each copulation lasts about 15 seconds. It's fast and furious, but it would have to be. In prehistoric age, more than 66 million years ago, were dangerous times, and animals would always be on the alert. Plus, these two heavy creatures, weighing in at 7,000 kilograms, could seriously hurt each other. So now let's move on to the legs and arms. We used a chainsaw to cut off a limb and discovered the bone inside had rings like a tree, which would enable you to age the creature. We know from fossil records they lived until they were about 28 years old. By looking at the ligaments and where muscles connected to fossilized bones, we can work out how fast a T-Rex can run. Working out mass and using an advanced computer walk cycle, we worked out that T-Rex could reach speeds of up to 25 miles per hour, not far short of Usain Bolt. So, if you can't stand still and hope it won't see you, and you can't try and outrun it, this is why T-Rex was such a deadly killer. It was also both an ambush and a pursuit predator, the best skills of both a crocodile and a lion.
Like many advanced apex predators, T-Rex would have used both ambush and pursuit methods.
But why the short arms? Well, it didn't need them as it walked on its hind legs, like a bird, but at 7 tons it was never going to fly, so it didn't develop wings like a bird. They certainly weren't strong enough to help pick itself up, so it's believed this is an evolutionary stage of the T-Rex, and when they were dominant on Earth, would have only been used for holding prey while it was eating and stabilizing itself while mating. Finally, the tail. Like a lizard, this was used for stability and in combat. A swipe from that tail would deliver a serious blow, and given its main predator would likely be a Chiropters that would pack on the T-Rex like a pride of lions, that tail would be useful for shaking them off. So there you are, head to tail of a T-Rex. If you want to see more clips behind the scenes, there's a link to the gross stuff. And for other material about the build and clips from the show itself, go to Nat Geo's website.